How's everyone doing? Welcome to podcast number 11. We apologise for not having any content up in the last while. It's been mental, and all the guests that we have wanted to get on have been not cooperative.
Very polite way of...
Yeah, I know what it's no, we've loads of people lined up. We just want to get everyone on at the right time and all that kind of thing, and we obviously want to put on good podcasts as well. So this week we have Bipolar Bear with us, Luke and Stephen.
How is, lads?
And before we get into what they do and what they're about, the lads are going to tell us a bit about themselves. So we'll start with Luke, if Luke wants to kick things off.
Yeah, no worries. How's everyone getting on? Thanks very much for having us, first of all, lads.
No bother. Thanks.
I know it's been a while. We've been trying to get this organised, but yeah, you know, shit happens, and we're allowed to swear, aren't we?
Yeah. I can say what you
Fuck
want.
shit balls.
Oh, Luke, yes!
I can't just go straight in, man.
Happy system now. I don't know how many people know. My name's Luke Bulmer. I'm in BPB with Stephen here. Something we set up together a while back now, but we'll get into that later on. Not done a lot of this kind of stuff. Stephen's normally the talker. Haven't always been able to get involved, or not always been kind of ready to kind of put it out there. I've written blogs for Console and sent it to him and then told him to get rid of them and stuff like that. Just things a bit raw, and it's fucking hard to say some things sometimes, lads, but sure, like, that's what we all believe in, talking and stuff like that, isn't it? Yeah. So where to begin? I'm 31 on Monday.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks very much. Yeah. So I've been kind of in this kind of I don't know what the right word is for it, with depression, anxiety, all that for best part of 10 years now. It's been a lot of difficult times, a lot of ups and downs. Some people know about it, some people know everything, some people know nothing.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of touch on what we can tonight. Had some difficult times. Not many people know. I've been into people, I've been on the medication, I've been suicidal, I've hurt myself, I've done lots of things in the past, and it's kind of at the stage now where, as concerts are probably the best way I've heard of kind of putting it on a scale, 0 to 10. 0 to 10. I think we're all in the opinion that no one's ever a 10. How can you be a 10, man? Do you know what I mean?
Unachievable.
Yeah, it's unachievable. 0 being the worst.
10 is in movies and...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just can't happen, and that's fine. I think once you realise you can't be a 10, then people strive to be a 10.
Yeah.
And it's not realistic. You can't be a 10. You can certainly be a 0.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I think
you should strive. I'm in Ireland, striving for a 5. Strive for 5, and then when something good does happen, just reel it back in, and when something bad happens, reel it back in. And I think keeping 5 and it's like plateauing when your shoes are comfortable all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they be uncomfortable. Sometimes you get new shoes, but always keep your shoes comfortable.
absolutely, you're a metaphor man. My kind of shit started after school. So we've known each other since we were, Jesus, how old? You were one of my first friends here, and then when we were 16, 17, 18, we met each other, and stuff like that. They were good years, you know what I mean, in school, didn't care, did whatever you wanted, out having a crack, drinking down the duck pond and all. Brilliant. Awesome. Yeah, it's gone now, Apple County Council. Get to about 2021, like I was saying to you earlier, lads, I think a lot of things with depression, anxiety and stuff like that, I think you can be predisposed to it. You can have it in your family, you can have it, it can be brought onto you by life experiences, shit can beat you down. You might have the best family, the best friends, the best life in the world. Sometimes it just comes out of nowhere, and it's just, the way it is. I think a lot has to be said about our generation. We were leaving school in 2007, and it was Celtic Tiger and everything was great, wasn't it? And then we all got out of school and we're going to be great, and we get degrees and we get trades and all. Well, fuck me, that didn't happen, did it?
Yeah.
It kind of went tits up on us, and it was hard when you're early 20s. It's not all going out drinking every weekend and having a crack and stuff like that. Things were hard, and I think that affected a lot of our generation. From speaking to from speaking out and stuff like that, I've had a lot of people, my friends who are close to me, friends who I don't really know so well, people I've never met, who've said the same things to me, you know, and it had an effect. And I suppose, you know, it came about naturally through me. Had a great childhood, lads, don't get me wrong, brilliant parents, brother and sister, amazing people, and they are to this day. They're the reason I'm still around. You know, I've always been able to talk to them, they've always been there for me. There's never anything I've not been able to say to my parents. Just know there's a massive spider on that wall behind you. I hope you're not afraid of him. So that's never been a problem, but I found it hard. Don't kill it, man.
I know, just let him wander.
Started finding it difficult in my early 20s, about 2021. And I had a bit of a thing go wrong for me. I never felt anxious or depressed or anything like that. It's just not something I thought.
Up until 2021 there was no...
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have care, and I genuinely went out and did what I wanted and enjoyed myself, and I didn't worry about anything. I really didn't. I thought I was invincible, and it was great. In my early 20s is when things turned for me, and it's my hands are shaking because I've never... It's hard to say, like, you know, it's nothing I've ever talked about. The only thing I've ever said it to is Conso, another friend, and my family and my partners. Like when I was in my 20s, I was accused of something by someone, of doing something.
Yeah.
Without going into detail, because that's not the important part, it was by a girl who said I did something. I didn't hear about it for about a year or so. My hands are fucking shaking.
Man.
You're alright. Like,
No pressure, no
Yeah.
panic, no nothing.
Didn't hear about it for a year or so until I was actually out one night in town. I was in Gorey. I don't think you were there actually. And I seen this person and all the friends out, and I went up and said hello to them, you know, like I always do with people, and didn't talk to me. That was weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
Carried on, went to the end of the night, and being the person I am, I was like, yeah, what's the story? Like, you know.
It was
you know,
bothering you, yeah?
yeah, what's the crack, you know? I said hello and nothing, and they wouldn't talk to me, and I was like, you know, come on, you don't have to tell me what's been said or whatever. And this girl was there, and her cousin said, well, you know, she told me what this girl had said. And fuck me, I've never felt anything like it. Like, I felt like I'd hit by a car, and it was fucking horrible. Like, and I just remember breaking down and crying there on Gorey Main Street, and being like, jeez, what the hell, like, you know. And I confronted them. I was like, when did this supposedly happen and all? And they said, you know, this night or whatever. And I was like, it's not true, like, and all. And you know, we got the bus back to Gorey. They had me on the same one, and my went from being upset to being angry.
Yeah.
If you know me at all, you know that's kind of my go-to thing. My emotions, if something upsets me, I end up normally getting angry about it. A lot better these days, but I was like, I'm not having this, and I was like, I'm confronting this girl, and I'm not having this. I was with two of her friends, and I was telling them the story and all, and it wasn't true and all, and I found out where she was, and she was in this girl's house. And I went down to her, I got into the house, I was like, this needs to end right now. This isn't right, what you've said, but this girl is related and friends with people I've known for a long time, people whose houses I've been in, whose family I've been around, and I know I was told that she'd said it to them, and one of her own cousins who knew me fell out with her over it, flat refused to believe it. Didn't talk to her for nearly 6 months or so over it. I didn't know any of this was going on, so I was getting on with my life, and this was being said about me. I confronted her, and I said, you've got one chance now, in front of your cousin and your friends, tell the truth, because the garlic shop is right there, I'm going right there, in 5 minutes if you don't tell the truth. She wouldn't do it. I left to go to I said, right, I'm not having this. Her cousin actually came with me, and we went up to the Garda station, and I went in and I said, look, I don't know how to approach this has been said about me, whatever, blah blah blah. Girl come running up the road, and she got me outside, and I was like, seriously now, and for the first time in over a year, she admitted she lied.
Yeah.
Don't know if it was attention. I don't know if it's what the reason she did it. I don't know why. Maybe because the night we were out, she was out with, late or whatever. She was fucking 19 or whatever. So it's not like she was a child, you know what I mean? Anyway, I think maybe she was afraid because she's out all night, she's gonna get in trouble with parents. I don't know her reasoning for saying that. I'll never know. She admitted it. She said it didn't happen. I made it up. She told her friends everything didn't happen and all. And I didn't feel relieved at all. I felt absolutely horrible. And for about 6 months afterwards, all I could think of was how many people have heard this about me?
Yeah.
How many people have heard these things? Why has no one said it to me? What's the story here? And it sent me into a fucking pit of depression. It really set me off on the path of really my being anxious around people, not being wanted to be around people, I didn't go near women, I didn't get in relationships, I hardly went out, I didn't want to do anything, I was depressed, I was really in a bad place after it. And that's when that's when it started properly for me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, look, that's a catalyst. There's a lot more to things than that. I'm not saying that's why I'm depressed. I'm saying that's the thing that triggered it off for me. From speaking to counsellors and stuff like that, the general consensus of what I've got back is they would be in agreement. Sometimes it takes that, could be predisposed. I know people in my family suffer, so maybe, look, we don't know everything about depression. We don't know if it's pretty much hereditary, isn't it? It can run in families and stuff like that. So, but we don't know for a fact, do we really? So maybe I was predisposed anyway, and that's all it needed was something to kind of kick it off. Fucking hell.
Fair. It's a bit of that for the respect for
Fuck me.
Just
fucking, and that set me off big time. And then it just went from there, and it went worse and worse. And for a long time it's been, if I take it in segments of years, it's been bad years with good times. So that kind of way. So, you go away with your mates on a weekend and you're fine for the weekend, you have the crack, you go out in town and you're fine, you have a laugh and all, and you do these things, and to the most part it's a mask, isn't it? And it's what you put on for people to see, and no one knew any idea about this. And I'd spoken to Stephen about it. Stephen has going through his own things, which he's talked about extensively, but he was still able to listen to me, and I'll never kind of forget that ever. You go through having a mask, and people don't realise what you're actually thinking and feeling. And
like if you met Luke at this time, you had no idea what's going on about this. That's absolute chaos. There's nothing there you can have. You done the best you could do to have something control over, and nothing you had any control over.
Yeah.
It's just if you were talking to Luke there, obviously you'd see absolutely nothing. You just see a lad out there having a bit of crack, and you had your mask on,
and had that on for years. Eventually I got a bit better over it and all. I got back into the swing of things a little bit. I got relationships and stuff like that. I moved over to England and everything with my ex-partner. I was over there with my dad working, and she came over, etc. Anyway, that's not the important part. The important part is, again, I slipped on it. When I was there, I had my darkest period. So I reckon it's about 6 years ago, maybe, if I'm thinking about how old Ollie is. Sorry, my maths isn't the best. About 6 years. And that's when it kind of came to a forefront for me. I kind of held it in for so long.
Yeah.
And to be fair, my ex-partner, she was, she was great about this thing in particular. She tried to help, but she didn't really know how. Because some people they find it difficult.
Yeah.
I was working, I was, trying to enjoy myself, get on with my life, and I was on the inside, I was so bad. I was really fucking bad.
What can you describe?
I was about a 1.
A 1.
About a 1. And I was holding on to a 1. for dear life.
You just, yeah.
I was trying to beat that 1 and I was trying to get to a 2, but I was worrying so much and finding it so hard I was actually going the other way. I found out about my son was going to be born, and pressure came with that, and this is when I was suicidal. I was hitting myself before work and stuff like that.
Self-harming.
Yeah. Nothing serious.
Yeah.
It's just little things. Found it very scary, which is why I think I didn't do anything worse. Tried to kill myself. I remember one night, I was down, I walked out my house and I just walked and walked and walked. I was living in Anfield. At the Reds. Walked down to Albert Dock, about half an hour walk from Anfield. Walked down to Albert Dock, and I remember going down to Albert Dock, climbing over the railings and standing looking into the water. I was there for about an hour, freezing cold, trying to talk myself out of it, not getting very far. And that's when I was at the 0. I'd hit the 0 then, and I remember a woman came out of nowhere and approached me and stood talking to me for about 2.5 hours. Stood there talking to me, chatting to me.
No way.
Talking to me for about 2.5 hours. And she talked me off.
Yeah.
And she didn't ring anyone. She didn't ring the police or anything. I didn't think she wanted to do that. Even though the police station was actually about 200 yards away. I don't know if you're familiar with Liverpool down the dock, there's a massive one there. And she talked me off. And I went and got a coffee with her. I only ever got a first name. And that's when I was like, shit, you got to do something now.
Yeah.
I'll always be thankful for that woman. She came out of nowhere. She's a garden angel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't know anything about her. Don't know her name. Don't know anything at all.
Haven't seen her since, like?
No, she was a stranger, man. She seen me and she told me she'd been through her own stuff. She'd been where I was, and she told me about her life, and she told me about kids. She told me about everything, and it resonated with me because I just after I knew my girlfriend was pregnant, and it made me get off.
Just like so much respect for you, because I know that woman came along, but you had so much there to deal with. It was like there was a guardian angel there the whole time, like.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it wasn't just this one woman. She was doing a lot of work, but you were there as well, like, and just getting through living that long with that much on your shoulders.
Yeah, I was still carrying everything, man. Do you know what I mean? And I'd never let it go. And that was a moment I thought I have to go and get help. And I rang the doctor. I went into the doctor. I was well aware of the services available in Liverpool. I think Liverpool is one of the worst places in England for, young men killing themselves and stuff like that. I went in. I was in with the doctor a couple of times a week. Put me on medication. I went in to see people. I started counselling and stuff like that, and it started to help me. I'm not a huge advocate of medication. It helped me at the time. It got me out of that thinking.
Yeah.
But I believe it's a short-term solution that you don't get better on medication, but if you stay medicated, it's not a real thing. As soon as you come off, you're going to be back where you are. So it's not solving the problem, it's just kind of prolonging it.
Would you say so? Like you were a 1 going into the doctor?
Yeah.
And then.
Well, I was a 0 when I went in.
0.
I was about, and that's why I went in. I had to go in.
Yeah.
Like that was it. Like
the medication though, like I don't like medication, but
I don't
have
either.
to tell people that if you are down at 0 to 1, you've no fucking choice.
Yeah.
Take the fucking shit. I don't care what conceptions you have of medication. You need to take that.
Yeah.
If I didn't take it, if it disagrees with you, stop. But just fucking take just try everything. So I hate it, but
Well, I'm not a fan of
You have
it
to try it.
on the long term, but I know that if I didn't do that, it would. It helped me
Just up.
to get from the 0 to the 1, maybe a 2.
And all the counselling and stuff.
And the counselling and stuff,
Yeah.
it brought me back up to a level where I was able to manage it a bit better. Then we moved home to Ireland, and I went to my local doctor. I brought in my notes from my GP in England and all that stuff, and you know, and kind of carried it on from there. And the medication again, it was making me feel better, but it wasn't real. I knew that if I was to get better, I was going to have to come off it and do other avenues of actually making myself better. So I made the choice pretty quickly to come off it, and kind of work on it myself.
How did you feel when you came off it? Sorry, we're jumping across you now.
It's fine. I didn't have a slump or anything like that. I think the counselling and everything like that, and I think we all are in this room as the biggest advocates of talking.
Yeah.
It's better than anything, in my opinion. Talking is the key, and
it's free.
And it's free, and that's what we like to say. And I knew that I was on a better path, and to say that my son coming along saved my life is, I couldn't put it, there's no other better way of saying it. It's not an understatement. It couldn't be anything more real. And I knew that to be a dad, I had to start taking really serious action on this.
Do you think, just like going back there, do you think there was anything else like that was contributing to this feeling? Like, you know, there's chemical imbalances, but was there other things going on in your life that was contributing to you feeling like you
Not-
were?
Yeah, bad relationship stuff going on.
Bad relationships.
You know, if anyone ever knows me, they know about these things. Relationship wasn't great. That didn't help. Just pressure. I personally have come to realise that I don't really push it anymore, but for many years I had a self-destruct button.
Yeah.
I press it all the fucking time. Oh,
I
God.
cannot leave
I had to
that
replace
button.
it a couple of
Do
times.
not
I
press
wore it
red
out,
button, and I like
Yeah.
how
It's like a president singing it. You just
nuclear.
press that shit.
What?
When did the BPB thing come about? Like,
When I came
just joined forces, yeah.
So yeah, when Yuki came, I was away as well.
Yeah,
We came home.
you were in New Zealand.
Ships in the night.
Yeah.
From
docked in Arklow.
pretty much, yeah, from going, like when I moved to Arklow, Constance became one of my first friends and a steadfast friend very quickly, and we'd been through our own stuff, and he was kind of the only friend I told anything to.
Yeah.
And we confided in each other, and we came home, and it was just kind of, it felt right, didn't it? We were both home, we both gone through everything, and we went for it.
We were talking there, and we hadn't seen each other maybe in a year and a half or 2 years.
Yeah.
Easy, could have been longer. Me and Luke have a weird relationship. Joe always says it like, might not see him for a year.
Yeah.
We're just best friends.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that's cliche, you know, but it's literally we wouldn't even talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just like back in, you know, and just nothing.
Nothing
so
changed. So which is why it was perfect. We both ended up at the same time, and this stage I was getting to a 3.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
3 is good shit when you're like.
Yeah, exactly. And I've slowly been building myself up to as much as I can. The last few years I've had shit times. Again, it's going back to having bad years with good moments.
Yeah.
Pressing that self-destruct button on friendships, at home, relationships. I've done it loads of times, and I can't explain why I do it sometimes. I've carried on the counselling over here, and I've stuck with it. I'm still doing it now. There is some good places you can go. There's even in Arklow, there's the one for low income and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you ever feel like there's no one I can't afford a counsellor, you can.
Yeah.
There's places in Arklow you can go to, and it could take a while to get there.
Yeah.
It took me 6 months to get in or something like that, but they accept whatever you can afford, as little as 20 quid sometimes, and it really is, everyone can afford 20 quid, and when it's your health, Like if you were sick and you had the flu, you go and spend 30 quid on a prescription and you get cold and flu day and night and all. You go and do it. You wouldn't think twice about it. But if you got an issue with your head and you need to go speak to someone and you're like, oh, I can't afford 20 quid.
Yeah.
Why can't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you got a sore throat, your antibiotic's going to cost you 20, 30 quid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What's the difference? And that's it's a mentality that needs to be gotten over, I think. I'm still doing it to this day.
The
Counselling, yeah. I've had the support system of my family, partners and friends since we started BPB. I think a lot of our friends have spoke to us privately.
and publicly,
yeah. Some of them have said publicly, some have said don't tell anyone, and that's fine. But you know, they said you talking is I feel like I can talk to you now, and it's great.
They're the best ones.
They are the best ones, yeah. And those people know who they are.
Interrupting, the worst ones are the people that aren't saying anything to us, and like we're
say
there,
something.
say something to us. There's loads. We've all got DMs slide in there. Just might not be nothing. You could just be trying, like you might be feeling a bit bad, or you could be feeling really bad. And we know these counsellors around.
Yeah.
I've got a list of like ones we've been to, and you know, ones that will let you pay how much you can afford and stuff. So like there's there's plenty of support there where we know we can guide you on the right track. Sorry, just
no, dead right. It's a really good point.
Loads of people are opening up to you.
Loads of people open up to you. Sometimes you feel silly because people talk to you and you're trying to talk to them, and like I said, you might not feel great, but a 5 can become a 3 very quickly, and 3 can become a 2.
Yeah.
And you know, if you feel like you might go from a 5 to a 4, you know, go and say something to someone. It can be hard because you might be in your head, you might be a 4, and you got someone who's like you know, you may be a 6, and you're talking to them, and you can feel a bit silly because you're like, I'm talking to you, but fuck me, last night I felt like shit. I couldn't get out to bed for 2 days. Yeah. You know, and you know, it's one of them things we you know, we get onto it, and we're always happy to talk because it's, you know, from experience of talking to people is just what it's all about. Like I said, the last few years have been a lot better. I feel like I've got on a hold of things. I've definitely got a hold of things the last few years. I still have my bad days. I was saying to Stephen there, I said about a month ago, couldn't get out of bed for like 2 days. Couldn't just get out of bed, and it was stuck in a rut. It's the first time in the whole year this year that's happened to me, to be fair. And I've only had one panic attack this year. I used to have 3 or 4 a week. Do you know what I mean? So like things are a lot better. I have had really bad moments. I was doing really well for a couple of years, and then a couple of years ago it reared its head. I don't know if I've ever told you this. Then I crashed my car. Yeah. Crashed my car. Wasn't on driving. I broke up with my girlfriend. Self-destruct button. Yeah. Shouldn't have done it. Stupid.
That was real self-destruct.
Real self-destruct button. Shouldn't have done it. It was shit. It just fucked me up in my own head. It was my own fault. She didn't deserve it, but I did it anyway. I convinced myself, because this is what I do. I get in my own head and I psych myself out. Yeah. I can psych myself out quicker on my own than 100 people could do to me. Talking to me, and I make myself doubt myself. I get in my own head. I talk myself out of things and stuff like that, and I convince myself that I was doing the right thing and I wasn't. I crashed my car at the time. I woke up in the car, and I fell. I lost like a whole month.
Yeah, he's understanding crashed the car. You feel like it was a big crash. Like.
Right, we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, I lost a whole month in my head. Madness. It was November. I thought it was at the start of October because we were going to the wedding. Yeah. During my Thingy's wedding. Yeah. We don't do this. We're going to a wedding, and I thought that was that weekend, but it was a month after. And I was like, oh Christ. And I thought I was still with my partner, and I was like, telling my mum, ring so and so and all, and it was crazy carry on. I got it all back by like 3 or 4 days. Which is fine, just concussions, you play rugby, you get used to them anyway, don't you, Steve? Anyway, they took me in to see someone in Vincent's and stuff like that. They obviously knew my history. Yeah. And they were like, you know, if you have anything to tell us, I was like, no, don't. And the guard's like, there's no brake marks on the grass or anything, so you weren't, did you fall asleep? I was like, I don't remember. Like, I didn't remember at the time. I didn't remember. And I thought, maybe I did fall asleep. If I didn't break the car, obviously, if I'm asleep, I'm not going to panic and do it. But I drove it into a wall on purpose.
Fuck's sake.
That was only 2 years ago. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
I did I? I forget what I fucking told you at this stage.
Yes.
Apart from my parents and my family and my partner or ex-partner, that's again, I've never told anyone there. That was 2 years ago. Last week. That was the last time.
October,
Yeah, it was October. So I was so down. I was commuting to Dublin. I was all over the shop. I knew I'd made a mistake. I was in turmoil. I'd lost my head, and I was out at sea for days and days. And my parents always say to me, they know, because they said normally I'm chatting, I'm chirpy, and I'm having a laugh and all. But they said we know it's coming because there'll be a day or two where we get a "Hey, I'm alright" off you, and then he said a day or two later that's when it hits, and they know it's coming, which is good because they can see it coming and they can kind of prepare for it. So my parents always kind of knew that is what had happened. But I wouldn't admit it for a long time. I didn't want to admit it.
You didn't admit it for a long time.
Yeah, I wouldn't admit it to anyone. I wouldn't I was asleep. That's what I've been telling people for years. Didn't fall asleep at all. Didn't. And again, it just got 2 penalty points for that as well. That's what more than on my own in the car. Anyway.
That's ridiculous. If you ain't feeling bad here, there's 2.
That was the last time. Yeah, that's it. That was the last time I was really fucking down. And I can genuinely say, again, my partner at the time, she knows now, but I'd say she knew at the time.
Yeah.
She knew me.
Yeah.
And she rallied around me. Again, she really helped me get back on my feet mentally after that. She stood by me, she helped me, and she got me back into everything like that. She got me back thinking right. She reminded me of my family and my son and all that type of stuff. Unselfishly, she wasn't talking about herself either. She was talking about my child and everything like that.
Yeah.
And she really helped me get through things. And for the next 2 years, I suppose, it would be 2 years, she helped me, she built me up, and I got to a really good place. I got to about 6, and that was probably the highest I've been since, I was in me, all that shit kicked off. Got back in the gym. I've played rugby since I was 5, but I was always the lazy one. No, I can admit that because everyone knows that. But, I got back into it for the first time seriously. That was, she helped me with that as well, and I'm sticking to it now. And I can say 2019, like I said to my parents, I feel better in 2019 at the age of 30 than I have done since I was 21, 22. I've not felt this good in years.
Yes, brother.
And for the first time since I'm early 20s, it's gone from being bad years with moments of goodness to a fucking good year with 2 or 3 bad days, bad times. And that's what's flipped on me now. And I feel the best I've felt, fuck me, forever. I feel like I've really got a hold on things. Like we said, you never get out of depression. You don't lose it. You might go years and years and years without
an episode
without anything, and you know what I mean. But it can, like I said, a month ago I had a bad couple of days, but I was able to get up out the fucking bed and be like, fuck you doing? Got in the gym. I was like, smashed it. Let's go. I'm good. And I could say right now, in my life right now, I'm about an 8.
Happy days, man.
And I genuinely feel like that.
Literally happy.
And considering saying I don't think anyone gets to a 10, to say that I'm an 8, I couldn't be happy with that. I'm dealing with things a lot better. And it's been a long, hard process, and this is what people need to realise is it's taken me better part of 8 or 9 years. But some people it takes longer, some people take 20 years, some people take 2 years. Some people only get these feelings for a few months. But what people need to understand is that from, like, I've been through a lot. I spoke to a lot of things there. I've just admitted to things that people are going to see that I've not told people ever. I've been shitting myself about telling them. I've been afraid that people won't believe me, but that's fine, you know, whatever. We spoke on the car up here.
So much respect for doing it though.
Yeah,
So
fair play,
ballsy,
man.
like, yeah.
But like,
Courage is...
my counsellor said to me there recently, and I'm trying to carry this into my life, I actually used it today, that you can't control what other people think.
Yeah.
You can't control what other people do. People's opinions of you, people's thoughts about you is their thoughts and their opinions. You can't control that, so don't try.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for years. I was worried about other people, and lots of people do that. So we live in a society, it's social media and all this type of stuff where people are worried what people are thinking about you, and do they like me? Do they care? Do this? You can't control that, so don't worry about it. So what you do, or what I'm trying to do, is I can control myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if people don't like me, they don't like me. If they don't believe me, they don't believe me. If people don't, if people have a certain opinion, that's their opinion. They're like, what is it? What's the saying?
Opinions are like
Like
assholes.
assholes. Everyone's got one, and no one thinks theirs
Yeah.
stinks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's opinions
never
like
heard that?
assholes.
Everyone's...
Opinions like assholes. Everyone's got one.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks theirs doesn't stink.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And what I say is, you know, you can just, all you can do is control yourself and what you think and stuff like that, and it's all about having a strong mind power, and it's taken me 9 years to get there. So I just, for people to just, even if not a cautionary tale, but if you're listening and you know you're going through something similar, obviously people might, you know, not people gonna have the same experience as me, but they might have experiences that to them are on the same level of heartache and just awfulness. Just to realise that through talking to people, your friends, your family, like we said, all four of us are here for people to talk to as well. There's just don't. I know I don't want to sound like a cliche. I don't want to make it sound like it's an easy thing to do, because it's not. But there's always a light. There's always going to be better days.
Yeah.
There always is. And I've been, and as I've just said, I've been a zero. I've been there. I've done all these things, been through all these things, and I'm sitting here now saying, there's always a way out. There's always a path that you're on. You're always going to get to a better place. And please, just, if you're going through anything or you've got something going on, just don't despair. There is somewhere or someone or something to help you.
Try everything. And I think, like, and I wish, and I think it happens when you're in your early 20s, you're so lost. Like, everyone, you're like, what? Where am I? What am I meant to be doing here?
Yeah.
He's in apprenticeship, he's in college, what am I doing? I'm
Even
working
those
in...
people. It doesn't matter what
exactly.
it doesn't matter
These
what
things you put in your head.
You're
That's
like,
what I was
where
thinking.
am I going to go?
Yeah.
Where is this going to take me? What am I going to be doing when I'm there? You're worrying about all this and that. And if someone grabbed me and you when you're in your early 20s and said, listen, you're going to try a load of things, you're feeling like fucking shit now, you're going to try a load of things, something's going to work for you, and then by your late 20s, when you get into your 30s, things might start fucking panning out, and it's a lot of people are lost in their early 20s, and it's just this awful tightrope that you were on, that tightrope, and you fell off a few times, but you still, like, you know, you keep getting better. And you said earlier there, you know, depression lives with you forever.
I fully feel it's never going to leave me, but I fully believe that I'm a person strong enough now to manage it.
Yeah.
But
That's what I wanted to say, was that
Yeah.
you were getting to the point, like even you said there just a couple of days ago when you couldn't lift yourself out of the bed, and you're like, yeah, but you haven't realised how good you've got at coming out of that situation. So yeah, you might have depression for however long, but the amount of times you're going to have pulled yourself back up, you're just going to be like,
I can do this
walk
again.
in the park, like, jog on, mate.
I seen this, you know, you see things on Facebook and they put a quote and they stick Robin Williams' face on it, so it thinks it's true, like, you know, whatever. But some of them are good, like, and I seen one and I think it was Jim Carrey's face and all, but ignoring that, the message was, depression is a real thing and it's a killer and it's the worst, one of the worst things in this world. But if you don't try everything, if you don't talk, if you don't try medication, if you need to, if you don't go to your doctor, if you don't exercise, if you don't eat right, if you don't do these things, then I'm sorry, you haven't given yourself a fighting chance.
Yeah.
And I've tried everything, and I've found now things that work for me. And if you don't try everything and you don't do everything, look, people are probably thinking, sitting there, it's easy for you to say, or it's not as easy to just say go and do that, and it's not. I understand it's hard to do these things, but you have to realise that you know these are the things that will help you. If you don't give yourself a fighting chance, then you're not going to learn to be able to, like Stephen said there a month ago, I was able to pull myself up ahead and like give myself a head shake, head wobble as we like to say, and be like, you know, wobble your head a little bit there, you're fine, it's fine. I got in the gym, came out, I was like 10 feet tall, I was like, I'm fine. And 5 years ago I wouldn't have been able to do that. 8 years ago I'd have, do you know what I mean? I couldn't have done that. And
as alien, and I always think that you feel like you feel like such an alien that nobody else in the world could understand you.
Yeah.
As well, like that's the thing, and you will find through talking, through doing things like this, through doing blogs or whatever, you're gonna find someone that's actually, we're not as unique as we think we are. Just like, like there's a
exactly. The things I talk about there for years, I've not said anything about them, and I covered them up, and
respect, man.
I feel fucking.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that.
It's funny because I know a lot of people are going to see this, and there's going to be people out there. Oh, I don't know if that's true. I don't give a fuck, right? This is me. This is what happened to me. But I feel a little bit bigger sitting in the seat now.
Chest,
Like my hands were shaking there, saying all that. I was choking a little bit fucking on that a second. You know, in the beginning, I was shitting myself saying that. But I feel like I'm sitting about a foot taller in the chair right now. I really do. And
what did I say beforehand? I remember I was just like, every time you do a podcast with someone, how better you feel. But it's because you're being so honest, so real. Everyone's talking about feelings, emotions.
Like my legs are still shaking.
The shit. And it's just, that's the power of talk.
I want to talk to you so much. It was like, what's the... But funny enough, I think, I said, man, that's such an unsolvable, like, crisis. And I know when you were sitting there saying that, I was like, I think he just solved... You've just rectified that situation by saying that, like, publicly to people. I think it was like, if that was me, I'd be like, oh, how the fuck, man, and you've just done it. I think, maybe. Do you feel like you have? Yeah,
because I sent that blog to you a couple of times, and I was like, no, don't put it out, don't put it out.
This was the way of solving.
And I think
talking,
sitting here with people, it was a lot easier to put it out
let
there.
you don't know. Well, you don't know me.
And
What's your story then, Stephen?
It's crap compared to this. My story, I don't know, like...
I know you do public speaking and also you like said it a lot as well.
I've said it a lot of times, I'm fucking sick of hearing my own voice now. I'm not, no, there's like, I don't know, just from, I don't know, like there's, I try not to sugarcoat any of it, and I think with memory, like your memory is selective and you do sugarcoat your memory. Or sometimes you don't, but like I don't think I've left. I try not to leave any stone uncovered. So sometimes a memory might come back of, not a memory as in like this occurrence, but of a feeling or an emotion. And like I had a great childhood. Like sport in Wexford up until '96 was pretty sick. I don't know, like listening to Limp Bizkit and kicking balls against walls and going around chasing girls and getting in bits of trouble and like all that. Like it was fucking great crack. I used to have mad haircuts as well. Do you remember that? I was just thinking, there was all these mad haircuts that.
And then you turn up with a shaved head out of nowhere.
Yeah, then
I may start again.
Yeah. But what happened with me was. It was fairly obvious. I think back I had ADHD in school, like in the Christian Brothers it can go, you know, it's pretty camouflaged because it's a fucking jungle in there. Like it was some crack. Yeah. It was great crack, like, and but it would easily go unnoticed.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's one thing I wanted to say to you was like, so I was in the year above you or whatever. Like, I mean, never really hung out, but like I had friends of friends that knew you or whatever. And then when I left school, like. I'd heard of you like public speaking or whatever, and then people used to tell me, oh, he used to struggle in school or whatever, but I'd never noticed that, like, you know, because you had all the mad haircuts and you were like hanging around with all the cool kids and like
complete extrovert.
Yeah.
But the biggest introvert just consumed by my own thoughts and just ruminating through them in school. Like, but I had little insecurities in school, but I wasn't depressed. And when I was 17, 17, I don't know how much detail I should go in. Like I went to college, dropped out. I hated it. I have issues with my, like, at the time I was having issues with my weight. I ballooned from eating way too much food. I used to be very physically fit, and then I had too much food and I felt really bad about being overweight. And then I dropped out of college and I felt like this was just the very start, and I was like, oh, I feel really bad.
Yeah.
And that was just, I was just really lost, and that's what I said when I was 18 or something. I was like, I don't know. This existential stuff, like, I was like, why am I here? What am I doing on this planet? Like, where am I going to go with it? And then, you know, like, you start thinking like that, and then you're like, then what's the point of being here? Do you know, if there's no point, then what's the point of being here? And skip 10 years later, then if there's no point, then you might as well knock a bit of crack out of it. But it took me a long time to figure that out. But yeah, the slipping in depression, and basically no names, but there was I couldn't do art in school, and I never realised that art for me, I wasn't good at art in school. I just had to keep trying to get it, I don't know, alright, like. But I wasn't allowed to do art in school because I was bald. So then when I was doing my Leaving Cert, I didn't do art.
Yeah.
And then when I wanted to go to college, I was doing commerce and stuff like that. And it's like, I had no interest in... All I wanted to do was spray paint walls. And that wasn't like... It's not... For me, it wasn't a career option. It is for a good few of my mates, and fair play to them. But at the time, I was just completely lost, and I tried college again. And I dropped out after 2 years this time, and I was like, I just have to do art. And this sounds so silly, but it might sound silly to some people, but other people will understand that that's my way of communicating with people. I'm getting alright at talking, but my only way was expressing myself through haircuts, expressing myself through other mediums that I became me. This image I had of me was through art, and I wasn't having that. And then, so like, yeah, I don't know, I was maybe at a 2 from 18 to 20, 21 or 22. So yeah, the depression, the lostness, the ADHD, the not doing art, boozing way too much, like boozing as much as any other student, but when you've got a wobbly head, like, you have to approach that head cautiously.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about depression or anything like that. I didn't know. I thought ADHD was if you had it if you were just looking for attention the whole time, which I could be guilty of that. Yeah, it got really bad. Once I dropped out the second time, I was in the pits, man. I was just lost. I didn't have anyone to talk to, and I had people I could talk to, but they didn't understand because I couldn't articulate. Because I didn't know what was going on. I just felt alien. I just felt isolated. I was just on my own with my own thoughts, and I thought no one else had this, or no one else could understand me. And I was like, what is the point of me being here? And my mum brought me to the doctor. That's a heavier aim. It's nice and cozy. Nice rain effects. Brought me to the doctor, and I got some medication. Can't remember the name of that medication, but it done nothing, and got worse, steadily getting worse. Went to a counsellor. Big up, Linda. I'd no money, like, and she's I think this is amazing when I think back. She's like, you can just give me whatever you want for an hour of her time, and she was really good. It's like, I might give her a tenner or some, like, I don't know, like some celebrations, just like the Snickers, or throw her a few Snickers and Bounties. Sorry, I ate the Maltesers, but yeah, like, she helped. And then I was seeing the girl at the time. She was fucking great, like, a beautiful and lovely girl. She didn't understand, so she tried everything she could to help me. It was nothing. But then I just went through, like, a series of unfortunate events where can't remember the timeline properly, but I'd saved up, and I'd moved to Edinburgh. I'd just done 1 year of art, went to Edinburgh, and I had about $4,000 worth of art equipment, so a laptop, a camera, all that in my bag, and that got robbed. And that was everything I'd owned or worked for, was gone. And all my art was on it as well, so every photo of everything I'd done, boom, gone. I was like, well, that's a shit break. And then within a day or two, I got a phone call then to say your auntie's dying, and I loved her so much, man. She was like my second. I have a few second mummies, but she was one of them. Like, just spent summers with her, just real close, because we're such a compact family. But because my passport was robbed, that was in that bag. I had no money. I had to meet someone in Edinburgh, organise and meet someone to give me a few bob. I had to get a bus. A bus from Edinburgh to Belfast, and that was like a 20-hour bus, but I can't remember what I robbed her. I tried to get on the bus and I was kicked off for free, and all this mad shit. Got to Belfast, I was like, am I going to see my auntie before she dies, like? And I got Belfast to Dublin, and then my girlfriend at the time amazingly just picked me up from Dublin and dropped me down to Cork, and she came in, she was incoherent, but she had a little smile, and that journey was the most important journey of my life. She died, and she was the first. I've lost people that are close to me. That was the first real death of someone I loved. My grannies were all dead. I had no grannies or granddads to learn about death, and to love them while they were alive, obviously. But my granny died when I was 6 or 7, so I never got like an emotional connection. So that death was like a fucking slap in the back of the head. I lost all. I was already of suicidal tendencies. There's other little things that happened, were big things that happened, but they're the two. That little chain there was once those two things happened, I just lost any reason to live. I was like, if this is what happens to everyone I love, or this, I was like, and this is gonna happen to you. I was like, why would you be here? You've got nothing here. I just was like detrimental to me and anyone around me. I was fucking lethal. Like, it was just, as Luke was saying, self-sabotage. I was just really destructive, and then that just made things get a hell of a lot worse. And I'm talking about, I was zero there for about 6 or 7 months, and just out at sea, like in the middle of the night, just thinking about drowning myself, like, and fucking waves hitting me, and just seeing what it would feel like to drown, and just be out of pain, because I didn't want to be in this pain. Like, I couldn't deal with it. Like, my fucking sanity had just like and then just that was, wasn't getting any help, and then 1 or 2 other things happened, and I was just taking sleeping tablets the whole time. I was doing art college, but I was just so fucking depressed. I thought I hated art college again. I was like, oh my god, third college course, and you hate it. I was just so depressed. I couldn't like anything. How could you like anything when you just don't want to be here? But so I was just taking sleeping tablets, didn't want to wake up. I've said this line so many times, and I hate saying it, but it's the absolute truth, is that I just didn't want to be awake. I didn't want to have to deal with anyone, anything. Anyone gave me a task, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I couldn't get out of bed. I was just lying there in my own filth. Had a laptop, just on that laptop all day. Wake up, laptop, wake up, go to sleep. Sleep, laptop, sleep, repeat. And then that was whack. But anyway, I ended up taking too many sleeping tablets. Not what's the word? Critical amount. Fatal. That's the word. Not a fatal amount, like 16 just didn't want to wake up. You know, to me it makes sense. It still kind of does, but explaining that to doctors or psychologists doesn't. Well, they do understand, but yeah. So I went into John the Gods then. I went to A&E in Dunleary, and then within 2 or 3 days of these were the worst days. I couldn't read or anything, and I just I went into John the Gods, and I don't know what. Before I went in, I was told by someone that if I went in there, I might not get a job in the future.
Yeah.
How fucked is that?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. Anyone that ever even thought that, or anyone that even said that, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because, what, anyway. Went in there, for someone like me, it's like going to Lanzarote. It's Luke used to visit me. And John and all, Kirsty, Sabrina, they all used to come up, and I was a bit wary of them coming up because I didn't know what they thought, and I went in there, and this was the first time I'd actually properly talked about depression.
Yeah.
Or and I've a fucking long range of diagnoses, to be honest, and that's why medication never really worked for me. Was they didn't know what the fuck was wrong with me, and they probably still don't. But in there, it's amazing, and I keep promoting it, and I can't promote it enough. It's just, if you're in a situation like I was or Luke was, I personally think get to a psychiatric hospital, and it is not far from a prison, but at the same time, like, there's enough therapy there. There's different types of things that you'll find something that works. And the thing that worked for me was I did like the art therapy, and in my spare time jigsaws and chess and reading, but like that was therapeutic enough for me. But the one thing that really stuck to me was just being around people that talked normally, that talked normally and talked honestly. And that's, by that I mean the patient.
Yeah.
They were the things that the patients saved my life.
Yeah.
I think as much as my friends and family did, and as much as psychologists did.
Because you didn't feel on your own kind of thing, or you could relate to them.
Or that you weren't the only one that felt like that.
It wasn't even a feeling about me as a person. It was just being able to talk as we are talking now. It's just like because that's
liberating.
It's liberating, but what was that? 2012, where are we?
7 years ago.
2019, 7 years ago. It's actually not that long ago, but it wasn't even that. It was just having a meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I see United done that, and Liverpool done that, and I was like, and when you're in there, then you're just talking about how life works. And there'll be some lad teaching you some Taoism or Buddhism, and then they're actually teaching you things, and we're talking about things that are of substance.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is being able to connect with people, and stayed in touch with a couple of them. Jesus, that's 7 years ago. And since I was a 0 going into the hospital. I came out of 1, and that is diabolical. And I'm not lying. Like this, it was still diabolical coming out of there, but I was on the. It was better than the 0.
Yeah.
And so you go to outpatients, and the reason I'm just saying this is just so people can get an understanding of what it's like, because I could skim over it. But when you have an outpatient, and you meet a psychologist or a counsellor every week, and she was shite, and within another year I was back in hospital. But I wasn't back down to a 0, but I was assessed by a doctor, and they're like, man, you can't be going around feeling like, you can't be going around like not wanting to leave. You can't go around like that. I was like, well, I'm kind of used to it, like. And so they're like, no, I think you should go back to hospital, like the things you're saying. And I weirdly, like, I've been conditioned. I was conditioned to feel how I felt, and kind of. So I went back to St. Pat's this time, which is class, man. It's just we had pottery. You're getting your food cooked for you, and like lovely nurses that care about you, and doctors that care about you, and they're smart people, and they understand you and stuff. And I was in St. Pat's then for a month and a half, and that brought me up to a 2 to a 3. skip a few. Yes, I've been since that was 2013, 2 or 3. I always found, like, finished college, graduated with a degree in art. What the fuck is that? I know. Big up art. It doesn't get you anywhere though. It's just like a stepping stone into something else. So again, I was a little bit lost. And yeah, when I'm without my purpose, I feel bad.
Yeah.
And my purpose to me, and I think Luke has a few purposes with Ollie and all that, but my purpose to me is painting for people, and like not for money. Like money. If I ever think about money or worry about it, or it becomes a thing, then I become stressed. So I don't think about it. As long as I have enough, then that's grand.
Yeah.
And then if I need something else, then I have to have it. Like the painting and BPBs. Without them, I'd be fucked now.
Yeah.
Right now, that's it. They're my lifelines.
Yeah.
But luckily, I can always paint.
Yeah.
So something could happen with BPB, and I could be a little bit fucked. I'd find some way, and it's like saying about that philosophical paradoxes. Painting for other people. I'm not painting for myself. And BPB is for other people. But in return, it actually is for me, because it makes me feel better. So, like, I'm thinking, is it really selfish, or is it unselfish? But yeah, and then there's like, when I lose purpose, like when shit was going bad with BPB, and I was just making the wrong decisions all the time, like really bad decisions. I know what people would really love, 100 or 200 wife beaters that have been there, sitting there for 3 years. Like, there's all these, you know, bad decisions, making stress of emails, and I can't do emails, and like I've learned so much from doing BPB as well.
Just so people know, then Bipolar Bear is a clothing brand. So
Oh,
just now, because we're just like BBB, BBB.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yeah, so
Try and give him a pitch there, Luke.
We sell clothes.
yeah,
We said clothes.
and they don't keep the profit.
Fresh trades and
Yeah.
wobbly heads. So yeah, Bipolar Bear is a clothing range.
Yeah, so this came about, go back into where we were when we both ended up back in the country, and just being around each other. Always talked about doing different things, didn't we?
So yeah, now we've done a full roundabout. So I came back from New Zealand, you know, last time.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's mad how that came back. But sorry,
Yeah, I came back.
talking in Old Ship Lane, and you were telling me about all your problems, and then I was telling you about all my problems, and we're like,
Conjurers Lane pints.
yeah, and then we were both in this lost state of.
I think we needed something, didn't we?
We needed something, and we also are like, I know that, like, I'm a completely different mindset to all that. I wouldn't say negative stuff, but not so nice sounding stuff that right, like, in the mind state. Since that point, that, like, I'm very grateful for fucking waking up every morning. I'm very grateful to be alive. Like, I'm grateful for a cup of tea. Love smokes, like every smoke. But seriously, I wouldn't be able to enjoy that if I was left to my own devices. I wouldn't be able to do that, and that's a crazy thing. So everything me and you do, Luke, everything we do on this planet is owed to the people that kept us going.
Yeah,
and there's that, and that's BPB is I think that the initial thought was close. And then that was like, okay, this is our time now to give back to the fuckers, to the people, to the lovely people that kept us alive. Like, that's like, if you won the lotto, like, I'd love to build an art therapy centre.
Yeah,
but obviously you haven't.
We have big dreams, don't we? There is things that we'd love to do, but yeah, like BPB. If you don't know the story, it came about from us and Cameron Rijard, and we set it up, like I said, as a closing line. But like I said, we needed something.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is what it was, and it became what it is. It's just, to anyone who doesn't have, BPB is Bipolar Bear Way. It's a clothing line with an emphasis on raising money. How much is total so far?
8.5 now.
8.5.
Oh.
And awareness.
£8.5 for mental health services. So there's been like different. I think maybe 3.5 for Talk to Tom, £3,000 for St. Pat's. Who else?
It's fucking deadly. Let's
Pieta House.
Yeah, the big one, yeah.
Work for.
So we it's about raising awareness as well, and that's what we'd like to do. Like, I feel like Arklow, there's an understanding in Arklow, like the crest, as we like to say, is if you're wearing it, it means that you're okay to talk about it, and you're approachable. And I was walking down to where was I walking the other day? I was walking down to pick up Ollie on Wednesday, and I walked past the salon in town. I looked in, the girl had a hoodie on. I just walked away smiling, and it's great. Like, do you know what I mean? And I don't know who she was or whatever. And I see people around and they're wearing it, and it's great. And I do believe that Arklow has gotten more of the attitude in Arklow has risen, you know, with people.
Oh my days! Man.
Like it's
when
no one ever talked about anything, did they? When we were in the
we were in our little echo chambers, but
yeah,
I do feel like there's like compared to when we were really sick, when we didn't even know what it was.
There was nothing.
There's a complete change.
And there's other people there as well in town and doing lots of great things as well.
But the main thing is like the clothes. To be fair, clothes is just clothes. So the logo's meant to speak for something, but the thing behind the logo is the doing shit like this.
Yeah.
Talking and there's two. I like to think there's like a foundation BPB is built on. Now we haven't elevated it as much as we thought, but it's.
Yeah, which I just like, you know, cause Stephen needs the props here for it because he kept it going.
Yeah.
For what it was, it started with three of us, and for the longest time it's just been Stephen on his own, unfortunately, and he's the reason it's still going because he's put the work in. I had to step away with Ollie and all different things, and the biggest respect to just, you know, everyone knows anyway, just biggest respect has to go to Stephen because he carried it on and he kept it alive. And I think you touched on, you know, it's helped you, you know, if you didn't have it there, and that's, you know, we want to.
Yeah, nah, but like there's nothing to do with me, man. There's like my mum is in
Sophia, Darren, Snelly, everyone is a community.
Anto Byrne letting us use the shop and stuff. It's not. There's no one person. It's just like a load of. To me, how I want us to be is just a little community. Everyone chips in and says, "Here, I've got an idea for you," or "Can I help you with some?" And man, seriously, like the love that I get from people for BPB, for I want to help. And you have the people that I need help as well. And that, like, it's a bit weird, but I'm so glad that people come to us and say, "Listen, I'm in a bit of rut here, or my friend's in a bit of rut." Like, that makes scary, but it makes us worthwhile. But the foundation like that where this community is built is the talking, but the blogs are so important. You are doing visual and audio blogs, but we're doing written blogs. They're so important, and then we go around to lots of businesses and do talks, and I think they're the bread and butter as well, because they give you money and you can donate that. Like you say, here, what's the payment for a talk? Just so anyone that wants to talk knows, we say just make a donation to any charity you like. But the people, you go do a talk and there's 100 people in the room, or there's 10 people in the room, and you know, if you can connect with one of them, to get them to get to the right place, and that's what this is about as well. It's like trying to get these people to the right place and know that there's different types of help. That's what BPB is. So the clothes is a mask for everything that's behind it.
That's just fucking deadly. Like, have style, look, that's just fucking fair play to you, like, that is just fucking deadly, man. Honestly, man. That's deadly, like.
The talks, they're a big thing, aren't they? Like, even when I did Biffy that day, I was shitting myself. I'd never done anything like that. Oh man, I walked into Biffy and I was like, what's gonna happen? There's gonna be many people there and all, and I was shitting a brick, like, and felt so good to do it. And even like the response going, I had someone get on to me after that, and they like they were going through their own thing, and they were like, I think it's really good what you're doing. Like, just touch on what Stephen says, getting out, and it just, people might not realise there's things out there, and if it helps, even we always say, if it even just helps one person, if every little thing we do just helps one more person, even just one,
a little domino, and you get that person.
Yeah,
that's why I always say, that person you've helped, you can get that person to try to help someone else. Imagine that, just, and then all the little dominoes fall, and it's like, I've got this person. So that's even the art, I think, is really important as well, and I know I keep going on about it, but like art, and that when you say art, I think, what do you think when I say art? Like painting?
Creativeness. That's all I think.
Nice one. So like, to me, making an apple pie is a piece of art. Like, you can do that whatever way you want, and it's your way of doing it. Like, you're a sour bastard, don't put any sugar in it. I know, but there is like, and I think everyone has their own little art forms, and that could be cleaning a room or something. You know, that is a work of art to get a room clean and looking the way you want it to look. That's, you're curating an exhibition, and people don't see it like that. But you have to understand that these things, like writing is so important. Like, if you can't verbalise, like, writing is like crazy important. That some people dance, some people sing.
I talk into my phone. I create a video. I watch it back and then delete it. I have notes on my phone. I use my notepad and I write things in it. There's hundreds of things in my notepad, but I talk things out to my phone. I might be the only person who ever does this, and I watch them back and I hear them back. It actually helps me, and I've spoken it out there, and I put it out there, and then I delete them, and it really helps me. And even just little things like that, like, do you know what I mean? It's just getting it out there in whatever way. Like, I do Duplo with the young lads, start making castles and stuff. And a big box of Duplo, and he goes home one after the weekend. I'm like, I'm gonna get that box of Duplo out and make it something in the sitting room on my own. Like,
but you do a bit of Lego. And you make this house with a boatyard, and there's feeling. So I think there's two mediums for creativity. Not mediums, but like avenues that you can feel better from it. For it's like actually having accomplished something, and you made something that might be crap. Like, some of the paintings I make will never see the light of day. So, but at least I've done something. And then the other thing is, if you try and interpret it. So what you're doing there is interpreting what you're making. So if I done a painting, and I painted, okay, so I'm doing a landscape, and it's got like dark clouds and loads of crows, like there's no, but like if I was given this big canvas and I do a tiny little painting, given that big canvas, obviously there's a massive means there for me to figure out what's going on. Now you can go to an art therapist and say, you're obviously very insecure, and whatever, why would you not take on this daunting task, or you might be afraid of taking on a task, or you're not confident in yourself, or and then procrastinating. But there's so many ways you can interpret something that you create. So when Luke listens back to himself, you can see, you can even see your thoughts. You're basically looking at your thoughts.
Because it's hard to kind of get the fog out your head, and it's hard to go through it. So to understand your way of thinking sometimes can be really hard. So you boys are all dying for fag. You've been twisting that fag in your hand for half an hour. Is there anything left? It's hard to understand sometimes the things in your head. So I might say it in the phone. I'm talking to the phone 5 minutes and not hear what I've just said. Then I hear it back and I listen to it and it resonates with me, and I'm like, I could pull it apart. Then I'm like, well, why are you thinking that? Or that's not right. Or geez, you get that away from you or whatever. And that works for me. I do the painting, but I pick it up and leave it. Like, I've about 15 unfinished canvases in the house, and I won't finish them for another 2 years. It's just what I do.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about paintings now. Look at. That's all plywood behind there, man. You can come down any day you want now and draw us up a mural or whatever. What do you call them?
Mural,
Fire away, man, on whatever you want.
Can't stop your man to destroy this place with two spray tins there.
I know, because then this for the podcast, and then the big deja vu posters over there for the band.
Oh, that could be dope.
Look,
the brain's already fired there looking around.
Let you run wild, man.
Do the jigsaw pieces and stuff. But we've I had a meeting this morning. I can't say no names, but the other thing I always wanted to do, like we said about I said about the therapy centre, was we done a little event there, and big up Aches for doing the t-shirt, and talk to Tom for coming along, and Studio 39,
yeah.
you fucking legends, thank you so much.
Peter Snell,
McGann, Snell,
yeah.
anyone that helped. Jamie Flynn Doyle, but that was always the plan, was to make events where people can come. Like there's two aspects of mental health, and it's broad, but there's mental health as the preventative thing, which to me is, you know, just the talking gets you out of all the situations, but like exercising, eating well, you're looking after your mental health. Here you are doing a bit of meditation. That's super fantastic. And then there's mental illness. People tippy-toe around that the whole time. So, you know, like no one ever, you know, bangs on about, you know, your mate that's psychotic, schizophrenic, and he hasn't left the house, and the lithium's destroying his insides, and that's not cool to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm more keen on that, to be honest, because I think that's more dangerous, and I think
it is very dangerous.
It's so dangerous that when you get down to these 0-1-2s, that's kind of like celebrities are kind of banging off that, but we want to do events for both those, mental health events and mental illness events.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Also, the mental health events will be to prevent people from ever slipping down to the mental illness, but we also need to intercept the people that are down, or not intercept, but help the people that are really down. And so we done that event there last month, and that raised $2,500. So that's like, those t-shirts were fire. Yeah, they were fire. Like,
class.
They sold out. Put them up online, and
we were meant to sell them today, and we had to start selling them. Like, didn't we? Just people.
And I'd put 50 or 60 for online, because there's a lot of foreigners wanting them that obviously couldn't fly over for a t-shirt. Like, they sold out within half an hour.
Yeah.
I was left with a load of smalls because it's mad trying to order. Like, people don't think about this stuff.
No, the logistics of it.
The logistics of saying, okay, I like the maths that went into. So I collected every order we've ever taken, and got a percentage of small, medium, large, extra large, extra large, and so it was like 35% medium, you know, 17% large, and like, so we got 150 t-shirts, so 70 medium, say, and overbought on the smalls, and was left with like 5 smalls, but everything else was cleaned out in half an hour, so there's like 5 smalls sitting there for 2 days. But so the plan is now, we've got a really worldwide famous artist again, because Aches is worldwide famous. We've got another one that's contacted, so he's going to do one, and I think bumping up to like 400 or 500 t-shirts this time, but still limited edition, and that should make about 10 grand for whatever charity they want to.
Mad.
And then we have another, I've like serious artists lined up, so that's about to kick off now. We're just keeping it limited edition every 3 months, and then.
But the main thing is that like yous aren't, like all yous are trying to do all the time is just give back. Like, you're not doing like that. I just think that's amazing, man. Like, that's literally all you're trying to do. Promote it, promote mental health. Like, people talking about mental health, everything you're doing.
That's what you're doing, though.
I know, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you have to give yourself a big pat on the back as well. And as you said as well, like that, if one person hears it, the only reason that I even wanted to do this, like, because I always say about that inner critic and all, and we've heard said it fucking every podcast probably, like, oh, who are we to talk about, blah blah blah. I haven't said a word on we. You haven't said a word on we. Used to have, and all the other guests that we've had on have came in and talked. So I don't care. Like, I've done my whatever second podcast. I laid myself bare about drug addiction and everything else. Like, and if people want to go listen to that, they can listen to that. They've spoken about his brother. Like, so there's a range of topics that we have on each podcast. But if one person comes on, clicks on the page, and they're like, right, I've watched the podcast, geez, I can identify with him. Geez, he's after speaking about his whole life and he's never spoken like to anyone. Like, if that helps one person, then like, who gives a flying fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it felt like the right time to do it, and you guys gave me a medium to do it there. Like, writing it down and seeing it written down was just hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard to read it, like, and I tried not to read it, and the platform is there today, and it's, you know.
Yeah,
know,
like it's social media as well. Like a
Yeah.
video is just, this is gone here.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's there, you know what I mean? Anyone in the world can just see it. Like you're laying yourself bare, like, which is scary as well. But like,
The more you do it as well, then the more, like like people judging people.
yeah.
Like that's mad.
Yeah.
Like, that is mental. That.
But it's like,
it's dangerous as well. Judging
Yeah,
people
poor
is dangerous.
choice. Yeah.
What I always see online, it really bugs me, is people who make fun of people for talking about mental illness. You know, people, you're just saying it because you're trying to be popular.
yeah,
or cool.
yeah.
Don't, it really annoys me when people do that. Like, you don't realise who's reading that.
Yeah.
Yes, someone, you might say, people are putting up statuses about mental health because they think it's the in thing.
Yeah.
Don't put that down, because you don't know who's reading your... People that do that really annoy me. Even if you think it's true, even if you know it's true, even though it's your friend, don't be putting up online stuff like, people putting up, why would you? You don't know who's reading that. You just have to be so careful about what you put out there and stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? That might be seen by 200 people, and there might be one person who's reading that and they're like, they might have been ready to go and talk to someone, and now they're like, oh fuck me, like people are just like, it's so dangerous. You have to be so careful. People don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, just don't.
Do you know
do
what?
that.
That's funny to say that, actually, because I used to put things up like nearly every year for the brothers' anniversary, like just whether it was something I wrote or like I was into creative writing, like because just like putting things together, like from
Little
thoughts
jigsaws.
or whatever. Yeah, just that's what it was, jigsaws, and I throw them up like even just once a year. And then I think it was like a day later, someone local, I seen this girl put something up. It was like a status saying, why do people do this when someone dies, that they lay their feelings bare on social media for everyone? And I was just like, Jesus. I was like, I hope that wasn't because of my status that she said this, like, and I was just like, I was kind of freaking out for a few minutes, and then I was like, actually, I hope she never goes through what I went through. Like, she clearly hasn't,
Exactly.
because like you were saying, you were 2 or 3 or whatever, like I was always constantly a 7.5, like when like going through life forever, like there was nothing ever wrong with me. I was always cool about it. And then when the brother died, it just, Jesus, it took 5 off me. I was going around as a 2 for years, like just like lost, like totally lost. But like that was a situational depression thing, like where I wasn't, like, it was just something that was taken from me, like that I had to realise to come to terms with, or to like whatever. And when I was putting out them things on social media, it was like making me feel better, like, because I'd wrote a poem or whatever it was. It was usually a poem, like, say I think it was like for 6 years it was like a certain poem, and it was grand. But then when I just seen her one status, like, it was like a rant status, like saying why do people always go on about people that died or whatever, like, on social media? Keep it to yourself or something like that. And I was like, Jesus. I was just like, I was like, that was a bit harsh, like.
But it all comes back down to that thing what he was saying, like, it's none of, like, who gives a fuck what anyone says or anything like that. Like, you can only control you. Like, people are just gonna say whatever, like, you know what I mean? And I think I said it before, like, but the best advice I ever got, because I used to think people's thoughts now for them. Like, I'd be having a conversation with someone. Well, this is mainly now an addiction, like, but I'd be having a conversation with someone, and while you're speaking to me, I'm like, he's thinking about this about me, and I'd be having a conversation in my head of what this person's saying about me, like, you know what I mean? And someone said to me at a meeting actually one time, and they said the best piece of advice that they got was that it's none of my business what people think about me.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, and I have kept that with me, like,
That's
so
good,
like, it's just none of my business, like, like Liam could think I'm an arsehole. That's none of my, but it, like, genuinely, it isn't my business, like, and I used to always be like that, oh, what's this person think about me, and blah, 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 and, like, I'd say loads of people say, oh, he's a gobshite, he's a blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're going to go through your whole life like that.
Yeah.
Some people might love you, some people might just not even like the look of you, or not like the way you go on, or present yourself, come across. Who gives a fuck, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're, like, as soon as you buy into that, they've taken away your peace of mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your peace of mind is just gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you can kind of bring that into your life where you don't care,
and it's hard to do, like,
it is very, very hard. Like,
it's liberating once you get there.
Yeah.
It is liberating, and like I was saying, I was on speaking to counsellor there last week, and they were saying the same thing. You know, we were talking about a specific situation that's going on in my life, which is, by the by, but she said to me, what they think of you, what their opinion of you, what someone's opinion, whatever they think, whatever they said. Like, someone said some things to me that were really, raw, and it affected me for a few days, and it got me really down. It really did, and like they said, and my mother said the same. She said, that's just their opinion.
Yeah.
It's their opinion. It doesn't mean it's true. You know what I mean? And you can't affect what they think. You can't change their opinion. You know, you can't. So all you can do is affect how you take it. Do you know what I mean? And woke me up from it. Like, do you know what I mean? And but yeah, it's so true. Like
I learned to go on about this. You know, I'm bad at saying, but what Sally says about Susan says more about Susan than it says about Sally.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So like anyone that's a negative, or they're only projecting their own insecurities.
Yeah.
That's only their negative little
Yeah.
life. So you can interpret some negativity if you want. You can take it on board, or you can just try and empathise with them and say, okay, well, obviously there's something going wrong in their life.
Yeah.
That they feel the need to put up a status like that.
Yeah.
Something missing in their life, and
Exactly.
and that's not. You nearly sympathise with that person.
Yeah.
When you see anything negative, and it makes you feel better. And if you're dealing with an arsehole in real life or online, then you'll only feel sympathy for them, and you'll understand them. Try to get into their head. It's like, okay, this person said really bad things to me, and that's only a reflection of what they think of themselves, really.
Yeah.
Like, how could you come to that point?
Well, yeah, I had that, and this person said some things to me, and they were personal things about things you just shouldn't say to people. And yeah, look, I got mad and I said some things back, and you know, that's fine. We're all human, we do that. I had this talk with counsellor. I spoke to my mother and all about it, and I seen that person today, and I approached them and I spoke to them. It's funny that we're doing this today, and I seen them today, and I approached them, and you know, basically what I said to him is, I want to say a couple of things to you. I want to say I'm sorry, apologised, said I said some things that weren't very nice and weren't true. I'm sorry, apologise for it. I apologise for some other things. You know, I put my hand up to what I did, and this is my counsellor said that this I think would be a good exercise for you. So I went for it and I tried it, and I said I'm sorry, and I said that so I said, yeah, I thanked them as well, which they were surprised. I said some things you said to me were true, and you said some things to me in the past which are true, and I've taken them on board, and I actually want to say thank you for that, because you made me think, you made me look at things differently, and that's that. But what I also did was, and what I said to Stephen is, people might say things and they might think they haven't done anything wrong. What they said was okay to say, even when it's not. And I forgave them. I forgive them for what they said. They haven't apologised for it. I don't think they ever will. And that's fine. I've forgiven them anyway.
Yeah.
Because this is what has been put into me about holding on to things, and it goes back to not letting what other people think affect you. Because it did for a few days. I'm only human. It was going to, but I've got over it now. I've let it go, and I forgive them for what they said, even if they don't think they've done anything wrong, even if they don't think they have to apologise, which they think about what they do.
Yeah.
For what they said, it wasn't right, and I forgive them for it, and I think that's what people need to try and do as well. Is people are going to say things about you, and people are going to do things, and they're going to try and put you down, and you know you might think that you've got something that you can't deal with, and you might be afraid to say to people, or what people you might be afraid that people might say things to you, but you know, you have to. It got me a long time to get there, but the mindset now is that you know all you can do is control yourself, and you know, I just happen to have an example of it today, and
you're all doing good jobs at controlling yourselves. You are though, really seriously. Like you getting negative feedback, or you getting them thoughts, and you that as well. Like you're still trucking on.
Yeah.
And that's a resilience as well, like you know, and like you have to give yourself a little pat on the back, because you've kept trucking on with this, and with everything that's been thrown at you. So, like I don't know, like do you want to talk about some things that make us feel better?
Definitely,
I think that would be like
a good way to.
That's not talked about as much.
Things, so things that make you feel better is
Your kids. anyway, for a start, for me.
Fucking hell, yeah. Damn right. Like, the best thing ever, you know, it's one of the things, unless you've got young kids, you can't understand. You can, but you can't really, if that makes sense. It's a thing that you have to experience, and I hope everyone gets to experience it, but kids, definitely. Friends and family. If I didn't have the friends and family I have, I'd have been ruined by now. For me, it's sport. Like, I didn't play rugby for like 3 years.
Same, man.
Went out of it.
Not rugby, no, but
Yeah. GAA. I was never really good at that, so.
Hurling is
A big Brit, you know. Not my scene. Tried it in school, I was shy. But I joined the teams, I got to skip class, so I just used to stand on the sidelines. Yeah, rugby, you know, it's the thing. I play in Arklow, and the thing about it is I had a panic attack on the rugby pitch there in pre-season. I don't have one panic attack.
Really?
One panic attack I've had this year, and I was on the rugby pitch, right? And I just made a couple of mistakes, and my head went, and I had to go behind the metal box and do the 4-3-2, all that type of thing, and calm myself down and all. And the thing about the Arklow Rugby Club is there's lads that are 18, and there's lads that are 40. I don't know, 44, something like that. And you've got, I'm in the middle of kind of the ages, and there's no cliques, there's no we sit together, you sit together, or we go drinking without you. It's everyone in for it. And you know, I said to lads what happened, and I got like 10 different lads made of me saying don't worry about it. So rugby for me has really brought me back, coming back to rugby this year, and the thing, like I said, there's no cliques, everyone's in it together. It really is a team, and it's great. Rugby for me, I'm back in the gym. First time I've been in the gym solid probably ever. I've done it sporadically over the years, but like in the last 3 months I've lost 2.5 stone going to the gym and just working my ass off. I went last night for an hour on the bike. I got up this morning at 7 and went and did an hour and a half before the rugby, and you know, it's even. This is what bring me up to the 8. Is I'm feeling better about myself.
Yeah.
I feel a lot more confident. I've always been a bigger lad. I've always been the big lad.
Yeah.
I've always, if there's, you know, this is something I struggled with as well. I didn't actually touch on that, but a big problem for me was my weight. Growing up, I was always, you know, the bigger one, and it's hard. If you've never been the big lad in the group, then fuck me, it's horrible. Like, you don't feel comfortable. You go away with people. Yeah. You don't feel comfortable around everyone else. Your confidence isn't there. You know, you're going on holiday and lads whipping off their shirts, and you're sitting there going like, it's horrible. Like, and it's one of them things. And like we were touching on earlier, you need to, unless you try everything, you don't. So this is working for me, and it's great in the rugby and all. And like they're probably the 3 things I have in my life. I have my son, I have my rugby, my gym, family and friends. They're the 5 good things in my life that keep me where I am.
Yeah, well, I think any sort of
you love your mates.
Yeah, see, I have somewhere that I don't talk all the time.
We're going to talk about the bike tonight, is it?
I'm not going to talk about the bike because one of the lads after blowing it up on me.
It wasn't you.
I'd nearly say his name.
We're coming to get you.
I was going to say, no, but I think anything to do with any sort of fitness or any sort of sport, like you're releasing endorphins in your head, it's going to make
amazing.
you feel better.
I love cycling.
There, you're releasing endorphins in your head, like anything, walking, anything that releases endorphins. Yeah, it's good. Obviously, kids, like I just firmly believe, do anything that makes you happy. Yeah. Like when I'm playing a gig, it's nearly like a meditation for me for 2 hours. Actually, we play 2.5 hours now, but
that's us painting.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about anything else. Only getting the next lyric right. There's nothing else going on in my brain.
Yeah, it's me running.
Yeah, like it's just the same thing. Same as if you're playing hurling, if you're playing rugby, you're not thinking about anything else. You're not thinking about, oh shit, did I turn the kettle off or did I do whatever? Like, it's literally a form of meditation.
Oh yeah,
and it's taking you out of yourself. So I just think, like cycling, you're not going to be thinking about anything. No. You're thinking about breathing. You're thinking about everything else. It's a form of meditation as well. Yeah. A form of escape as well, like, but it's in a good way.
Like I was meant to go training last night, and my brother's a coach, and can't get away with fucking that. But anyway, I was meant to go training last night, and I couldn't be around everyone, and I was like, I wasn't feeling that good, and I was like, I didn't go. I can't play on the weekend anyway, but didn't go, and I was like, you may go to the gym, and I wasn't feeling like depressed or down, I just wasn't feeling myself, and you know, I felt unsure about being around everyone, so I went down and got on a bike for an hour in the gym, and all I was thinking of was hitting that. I was trying to do 10k in the program, and that's all I was thinking of. This is what you said to everything else goes out of your head, and all you think about is that whatever target.
I want to hit the 10k.
So,
want to hit the 10K.
like I'm doing
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And I'm thinking about the rugby pitch, and I'm like, I try and do intervals 1 minute on. I'm thinking I've got the ball, and I'm trying to get 20 yards.
Yeah.
So I burst my bollocks. I'm trying to get that, and that's all I can think about. I didn't think about anything else. And then I got off the bike and I came home. My brother was there, and I was like, I feel great. Like,
Yeah.
it's the best thing ever. I felt class.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
That's just it. Like same as Stephen there with the paint and all. Like, sure, I'm sure he's not thinking about anything else. He's thinking about every single stroke and like, you know what I mean. So I just think anything to do with that. Like, and I know it's hard when you're in that bubble. You just don't want to get out of bed, or you don't want to do anything. Like, but I just think anything. Same as when I did have a motocross bike. I like same if I went up towards him, I'm not thinking anything else except I'm not getting killed off this young man. Flat out, you know what I mean?
That's it.
But I just think everyone has to just do, for me anyway, anyone should just do anything that makes them happy. Yeah. Follow it, no matter what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Anything, no matter what it is.
I like the way no one said work, money, shit like that.
Well, I don't give a shit about work, man, and I don't give a shit about
people
money,
who
even
think
though
like
you
that.
need it all. Like, but
people who think that way, I think they've got the wrong way of thinking. You know, I'm 31 on Monday, and I've had people say to me, you know, do you not have a solid job, or do you not have this? And I'm like, well, I'll get there, man. Yeah. I'll get there.
I will. I keep saying to myself, I'll get there.
I'll get there. Like, oh, you know, you've a solid job, and you've bought a house, and you're married, and fuck me, I'm happy for you. I mean, mate, I really am. I'm glad. Or you know, you do a really job, and thumbs up. I'm really happy for you, but don't shit on me because I haven't got it yet. Like, I've a long way. I'm hopefully have another fucking this day is at least another fucking 60 years hopefully left in me. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm hoping I'm only a third way through my life. Give me a fucking break. It's just people try not to. Basically, what I'm saying is try not to worry about those things, because people put emphasis on not having a house yet, or not having savings, or not having a good job, or because other people have it. These are the things you don't need to worry about. They will come when your time comes to have those things. If you're meant to have them, then they'll come along. All you can do is live with what you have right now, and just
keep trying to do the next thing.
Exactly.
There's 2 or 3 things in that, like that. There's the time. You're comparing yourself on time. You know, people's timelines are completely different. And a lovely little quote is, "You never see a cow stressed that he's late. You don't see animals stressed that they haven't reached this target by this time." And time, I hate time. I'm not gonna start.
Man-made conception that doesn't.
Man-made conception that doesn't. So it does just years, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, but then the other thing is, I don't know, the expectations versus happiness. Yeah. You know that from.
Yeah.
Like, if you've no expectations of yourself, which sounds really bad, but you can't be worrying about something. No. You don't expect to have a house. You don't expect a good girlfriend. You don't expect a car or whatever. So whatever you get, then
is a bonus.
So if you meet a really poor person in India or fucking Ghana or whatever, the happiness levels of them are like the happiest people in the world are Ghana, Singapore, a very rich country. Ghana, Singapore, and I think Peru are the 3 happiest. So there's a happiness level meter that they gauge using material things, and then there's actual just conversations. And from this study, that the happiest people were the poorest people. They don't expect anything. No. And so you don't expect those things, you're not going to be let down. Yeah. But simple, and then you have got that time thing. If you detach yourselves from these things that are imposed on us by society, in movies, in school, you have to do well. All these measures of success aren't very fucking successful to me. No. To me,
are you happy?
Yeah, and that sounds so cliche, but doing the things Steph was saying about doing the things that make you happy. Yeah. It's and that could be having a good meal. You know,
could be
these poor people that have no meals, and you get a good meal. That's amazing. So don't even expect your next meal, and you're going to be happy with it. And there's all these different ways that you can teach yourself just to detach yourself. You can train yourself to think your personality's set nearly. You can change. You can just tweak little bits of it. your unconscious brain is set. That's set in stone, but there's still like conscious decisions you can make throughout your life. You know, you can teach old dog new tricks, and you can teach yourself new little philosophies on things that will help you be the person that you need to be, and you can define your whole path by just thinking. There's then going back from the negative thing, like you can spot negatively, but you can also just hone in on positivity. And like that person saying, comparing you to them, or you could hone in on just this one positive thing that someone said to you. And then you can start doing all these things, and man, life gets so smooth. It's like ridiculously easy to knock a bit of crack out of it if you change your way of thinking. So there's the chemical imbalances. So like there's a chemical imbalance, but you can still combat that through talking to the right people, talking to psychologists, talking to counsellors. You can meet one person, they could say a sentence, and they could change your whole life. A sentence, like 6 words. They could move some words in that sentence and it means nothing, but just one sentence could change your whole entire life.
But it's you hearing that at the right time, at the right fucking, like, when you're ready, you know what I mean?
You can teach yourself things to do as well, like, you're not always going to get to be able to talk to someone, so there's certain things I do on my day, and like the first thing I do in the morning, right, I get up, I make my bed.
Yes,
that's the one.
Always make your bed, people. Always make your bed.
You said bed.
Bed.
Not letting you away with that. No.
Always make your bloody bed, because for me, someone said it to me, and they said if you get up and the first thing you do in the morning is make your bed, and you start your day positively. And that really works for me. But it's about finding what works for you. Some people might try and be like, this doesn't make sense, I'm not gonna do that. Like you do meditation, right?
Every morning.
I've tried it, can't get into it. I can't do it, and that's fine. I tried it, didn't work. It's about finding things that work for you. Working for me, I can guarantee you any bad days I've had in the last year, I didn't make my bed. I can pretty much guarantee it. Like, get up in the morning. It sounds stupid, like get up. For me, get up and make my bed, and I feel like I've started the day. Then, do you know what I mean? I think for my brother, I don't know if he'd say this is true, but I think from watching him and living with him for 30 years, first thing he does in the morning is he gets a shower. And I've never spoken to him about it, but for me, I feel like that might be, he's probably going to watch this and be like, you're full of shit. But for me, even that, like he gets up in the morning, then 5 minutes being awake, he's in the shower. Do you know what I mean? And for him, maybe that works for him. Little things like that. Try different things. If you try making your bed in the morning, it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. Try getting a shower first thing in the morning. Try having a stretch. Try and meditate. If you can find something like that and something positive, if the first thing you do in your day is positive, we all look at social media, which we shouldn't do anyway. But if you can make the first thing you do in the morning when you get out of bed positive, then you're already on the trajectory for that day for having a good day. I think that's really important. Works for me.
I need this actually. You just remind me of the phone thing. This is getting like, this could go on for another while, but the mental.
You don't believe in time, man. I'm just worried about it uploading because we're in there 2 hours.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Fuck me, an hour 43 minutes.
This is
feels about half an hour.
That's all I'm worried about. That it won't upload.
Oh, well.
It'll take 6 years.
It was just like.
Continue, man.
I just got to rattle this off, yeah.
Rattle it off then, and
it's not. So it's not social media. I work as a designer, but I also do UX design, and UX design is designed to psychologically make you addicted to something.
Yeah.
So I don't do that part. That's like Paddy Power apps and whatever, and it's very simply done. That we use eye tracking and stuff, to measure eye patterns, and the little notifications are little red berries that's put into our unconscious brain to say I need to pick that red berry because that's survival, and all like the Tinder and Facebook are all like roulette and cash, so blah blah. That's really addictive, and I think it's fairly obvious that loads of people are addicted to their phones right now. But social media is bad. It can also be little positives, but the reason I'm saying this is I suffer ADHD, and might be a little bit off at times, but I can see mine is my attention span is better than most people's at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's, oh yeah, look at that guy, he can't focus or whatever. But the knock-on effects of attention deficit, and this the reason I'm saying this, and I need people to start thinking about it, is knock-on effects of attention deficit is you feel worthless because you can't complete a mundane task. Like, people can't hold a conversation. People don't know, and I don't mean even engage, like, they don't know how to even, you're in a conversation and they don't know how to, you know, ask a question. This is all, they're all losing this, and you feel incompetent. And then when you start feeling incompetent, your self-esteem goes down. And this is like, there isn't a, like,
This was happening because of
this,
social
there's a
media.
climax is definitely the wrong word. But there's a massive jump in mental illness, and is that people reporting it more, or is it people fucking spending time on the phones? And just, you know, people have spent time on newspapers before, or playing chess years ago, but this is done to play with your brain. This is done in a different way, that there's music, there's sound effects, there's visuals there, millions of colours, and this is all done to get you trapped in, and it's really well done and really well designed. But the effects of you having no attention span will lead to mental illness, and this is going to happen. And the cure is to get, like, it's an addiction, and it might move on to something else, but the cure is to try to put down the phone. Like, and I mean, you know, even waking up, I try to stay away from the phone as much as possible. Like, you have to use it, but like, I'm just saying to people laugh about ADHD as a real thing, as not. You need to concentrate on your concentration. Meditation is a really, really, really good way of not escaping. It's being tuned into exactly what's going on, and it kind of shows you that you can stop other thoughts and stuff. But the other things are magnesium really helps, exercise, making to-do lists, and being, even the gesture of writing. Like, we're used to just, and every letter's the same when you do that, but if you draw out an A, or draw out a C, or a big mad Q, that registers in your brain better. So you're just trying to train writing with red pen on yellow paper. All these things are trying to teach your brain to remember things, because this is going to get worse and worse, and people are going to, like, become zombies, or zombies that feel really worthless. And I don't want people to feel worthless. So your brain isn't stupid, it's just being tricked. That's not like conspiracy, I know, because that's what I do. It's so like, just keep an eye out for that. That's why I think there's a lot of it
To do with social media and stuff.
a lot of it's coming out. A lot of people are speaking up now, but a lot of people are getting trapped by technology. So
No, I 100% agree. I don't think that's conspiracy or anything. Especially you're waiting to see how many notifications you have on your phone and all on your lunch break or whatever like that. Like, you know what I mean? If you fucking miss Facebook for a day, you're like, oh, what did I miss? You know what I mean?
And the algorithms then are all designed to trap you into.
You go on something online, you go on to fucking Wish, or you go on Sports Direct, and next thing there's an advert up for fucking 30 seconds later. You know what I mean? So it's just fucking, I know it's crazy. I'm not getting into all that stuff either. But listen,
I've seen some of the profiles of people for the ad tag them, and it's mental. You're like, what is it, like 86 different categories they'll have you categorising of interests.
it's fucking crazy.
Like, if you're mid-liberal or whatever, they have you down from 86 different categories.
That's crazy.
$1
billion business.
So anyway, I'm not going to go off on it.
But listen,
we never got to ask you how the user doing. Tell us your story. 148. Let's go.
No, lads, I just think it was great having you on. Sure, I just said, no, you even said to Liam, I says, if I don't say 2 words, I don't care. Like, the podcast is about you tonight, like, you know what I mean?
But
we're only giving.
It would have been nice to hear you talking.
Listen to our podcast, man.
Listen to the podcast. One and two.
If anyone makes it up to this point on this podcast, I'll give you a discount code. Super Frond BPB.
FORN.
Message me. Message me if you make it up to this point. I'll give you a good discount code because that's you've done a fucking great job.
Yeah.
Put that on the headline.
Don't-
Watch it in.
don't
Get a
say
free
that,
code for
yeah.
BPB.
Yeah.
No, they'll all skip it then.
But I just want to say to everyone that's watching it, I don't know if that's gone real blurry, lads, is it?
No, it should be alright.
I just want to say to everyone though, please go and like the Bipolar Bear Wear. There's a Bipolar Bear Wear on Facebook.
Yeah.
BPB Wear on Facebook.
BPB Wear.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Bipolar Bear Wear on Instagram.
And if you want to purchase anything at all your money is going to
Some mental health service.
some sort of mental health service, and these are sick hoodies and hats and all that you get. And unfortunately, they didn't bring us down.
You rat!
But
To apologise coming in, we apologise saying we forgot.
but we will get one and we will hang it up on the wall, or I'll wear it around lads or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I'll buy one and donate to a mental health service. But that was podcast 11. I hope people listened for the nearly 2 hours. I thought it was a great podcast, lads, and it was brilliant to have it on.
Thanks for coming in.
Do you want to say anything? Respect, though, lads.
No,
Respect.
You have to give us a yarn. You sat there saying nothing.
That made a nice break, man. I usually see her waffling and people message me saying,
Yeah.
man, you need to shut the
Do they?
Yeah, I get that all the time. So I'm glad I
No,
got
because
it.
leaving mid-conversation and you just feel like, and you get lost.
They were early stage,
Yeah.
man. We're at
But he's
10
good
now.
now, he's professional now. But no, I'm
Lovely.
delighted, lads. That was a
Lovely,
great
lovely
podcast.
vibes out here, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
could sit here just chatting
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the sticks.
for
People think it's a proper studio and all
Yeah.
that's out here, like, but
Yeah, the cat's well out of the bag now, man.
yeah. Still, sure, look, it's grand.
fair play for doing all this again.
Yeah,
I keep
absolutely.
saying, Utmost respect.
No bothers,
Taking your
lads.
spare time.
Might have his hand further on down the line.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
do.
happy to come back up. Yeah.
Learn the saxophone or something.
Yeah.
You get a proper gig out of us. You can rap, Luke.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I'll do the
Tommy, finish on a song.
Yeah, give me a tune.
No, I mean,